Hello, this is Mur171. Today I'm bringing you my top 3 choices for edge zombie killing weapons. Now, first, before we get into it, I'm going to tell you what my criteria for choosing these 3 weapons are. First is its durability. You're going to be impacting bone. You might miss, you might impact a concrete wall. You don't know. So it better hold up. It better stay intact through its required use. Next is its availability. How available is it? Are you going to be able to find one? If you train yourself to use one, can you break it, lose it, something gets taken from you or whatever, and you grab another one? That's a big deal. You're going to be able to need to find a replacement. You also might want to carry 2 of them, so you're going to need 2. I prefer the 2 method, as you can tell. Next is adaptability. Is it only what it is? For example, a sword is a sword. Machete only it can be used for a machete. Or can it be adapted to something else? For example, a machete can be used for clearing out a campsite, getting firewood, things like that. You want it to be able to do multiple functions, because if it can do multiple functions, you don't have to carry so much. Which brings me to the next thing, weight. Weight is a huge deal. If you're on the move, if you're a nomad, for example, during the zombie apocalypse, you don't want to carry a whole lot of weight. Other reason you don't want your weapon to be heavy is heavier weapons move slower. If your choice for zombie killing is a 20-pound sledgehammer, you're not swinging it that fast that many times. You could possibly be overrun. But let's say it's a 18-ounce machete. You can wield that pretty fast. Now, not saying weight doesn't have its benefit. An 18-ounce machete isn't going to penetrate like a 4-pound axe, but like I said, more maneuverable. Next on the list is maintenance. How maintainable is it? Is it easily maintained? For example, a high carbon steel machete will rust easier than an S30V stainless steel knife. So you got to be able to maintain these things. They rust away on you, they're pretty useless. Alright, well, anyway, now that we've got the criteria established, let's get into it. My third choice is the machete. This is the cold steel Magnum Kukri. It's a pretty good chopping beast. You've seen it in comparison to the military issue machete. I chopped on a mesquite tree with it, so you know what? I know it will chop. I know if it will hold up to an 8-inch thick mesquite tree branch, it certainly won't have any problem punching holes through heads, cutting off arms, etc. It'll hold up. It'll take the impact blows. So hey, that's good. Now what put it in my top 3 was its availability. You can get a machete anywhere. They're available everywhere. You can buy them in any quality you like. This one was like $18, and I know for a fact that I can beat it into just about anything, and it'll take the beating. Now, that's what the overwhelming deal to is. Once you learn how to use a machete, once you learn how to chop with it, you'll be able to find another one to replace yours if you break it. And that's a good deal. Adaptability. Now, machetes are adaptable to a certain extent. You can use them for clearing. You can use them for killing zombies. You don't have to carry an axe so much if you got a machete. Or a saw. But, it has its limitations. You're not going to make a spear out of a machete. You're not going to, dig a hole too easy with it. Could it dig a little trench? Maybe. Could it dig a great big hole? No, you cannot. Or maybe you can. Maybe you're special. Ha ha. But it's there. It's availability. It's cheap. So, everybody can get one in advance. They're not going to set them back too much. Its weight, like I said, they're not very heavy. They range in weight. This one's easily under 2 pounds. Maybe around 2 pounds, but not very heavy. You can strap it to you. You can see that I carry it on my camping bag there. It's not very big impedance. And since you can use it, you don't need to carry a saw around with you. Well, you can take the weight you were going to put on a saw and add it to your machete and get a better machete for under that aspect. Maintainability, not the easiest to maintain. They're high in carbon. That means they got to be oiled, greased. I mean, that's going to be a big deal. They'll rust away and get dull on you if you don't oil or grease them, if you don't maintain them. Now, with that said, it's number 3 in my list. I find them useful. They're moderately adaptable, and that's what got it there. Anyway, my number 2 choice is the sword. You can see I got a katana, but I'm only going to show the bussy here. This is a bussy gladius. This thing is a monster. It's made of Infi steel. It's .31 inches thick. Anybody who knows anything about Infi steel knows that makes it a pretty big beast of a blade. Now, the reason I picked the sword is the sword in history is the only weapon ever designed, at least to my knowledge, with the aspect of killing people in it. And I'm assuming that most of the zombies I run across will be either in the shape of a person, if we don't want to call them people, but, you know, the living dead people. So, a sword. It's good for it. Chops pretty good. Hits pretty hard. So, hey, I'm going to go with, like I said, for like the 3rd time, I'm going to go with the sword. Now, where does it rate in our criteria? Is it durable? Yeah, a decent sword will be pretty bloody durable. You will, if you miss the zombie, hit a concrete wall with a bussy gladius, you're probably still going to be able to shave with your bussy gladius, believe it or not. So, I mean, it's not going to bend, break on you. There's a bunch of tests that have been done. You can go around YouTube and see them. Next is adaptability. Now, that's where the sword is not very useful. It's not very adaptive. I mean, yeah, you could strap it to a stick and you make maybe a long spear, but it's not going to work very well for you. It's got a lot too much weight right up there at the end. So it's mostly going to be a club. You're going to end up getting fatigued pretty quick with it. So it's not going to score very well in adaptability. Availability, going to lose a little points there too. You don't find a decent sword just on every street corner. You can't walk to a Walgreens or a Walmart and find a decent sword. At least not at any Walgreens or Walmarts I got, or CVS or anything. So I mean, it's kind of something you might want to have in advance, and if you have martial arts training or anything, you'll know how to use it pretty well. And if you don't, I think it's pretty basic. Bust them in the head, stab them in the face. If it's a zombie, don't do that if they're not a zombie. You'd be in trouble. Probably some legal trouble. Haha. Anyway, weight. Kind of heavy, but with that weight, kind of goes hand in hand with durability there. So I mean, it will be a little heavier. It'll be heavier than a machete and a knife. The knife is, but it's not unbearable. You can swing it. You're not gonna get fatigued too fast if you start using it. I mean, you can see the fuller groove. The fuller groove cuts some of the weight out. So, hey, whatever. Now it's maintenance. Get a stainless steel sword. Don't have to maintain it as heavy duty. But you're going to need to maintain. You're going to need to maintain pretty much all edged weapons. Just some will take more than others. That will take less than a machete, I guarantee it. Anyway, now for my first choice. In edge zombie killing. It's going to be a large knife. Large knives, not just these that I've got here, but a large knife, a large quality knife. For example, this is Bussy Argon Assault LB. It's a monster. I mean, it's designed to fight on 3 ends of it. I mean, stabbing, cutting, punching, skull crushing. Believe it or not, that's what the bottom part is for. And then it's got the back groove, the back edge. So I mean, it's a weapon designed for killing. This is the Bussy FBM. It's, just a beast of a chopper. This one's .27 inches thick. It's made of Infi steel. Both these Bussies are. They're just bad badass knives. But I mean, not just them, just any badass knife. I love Swamp Rat, I love Cold Steel, you know, just whatever you're looking for. But there's the reasons I picked knives as number one. For example, where does it rate in our criteria? Well, durability. A good knife is pretty durable. You can chop with it, stab with it, cut with it. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to beat. A good knife is one of the number one survival tools in any environment because, number one, it doesn't run out of bullets. And number two, which brings me to the next in the list, it's adaptive. I can strap this to a stick, have a spear. Say now I'm fighting zombies at 6 feet away. Now, that's useful. For example, what if the zombie blood can infect you? Well, you don't want it all over your face. What if you have an open cut? But now you're fighting them at 6 feet away, and as far as adaptability goes, I can also hunt hogs with it now very easily. You can thrust it from up in a tree limb or get some range, maybe throw it. I mean, obviously I would strap it more securely. For example, the use of a survival bracelet would come in handy for that. But it's adaptable in that way. Also, part of its adaptability is you can skin food with it, cut food with it, do whatever you need to with it. It's just a knife scores so many points on adaptability, whereas the machete and the sword lose out on it. Next, it's availability. You can get a large knife almost anywhere. I mean, you can get a quality large knife anywhere to a degree. And of course, you can get just the best knives in the world on the internet or the blade shows. So I mean, you can get them. They're around. If you learn how to use a knife, you can get a replacement knife if you lose it or you're forced to give it up or some other measure. But a good knife is around. You can deal with them. You can find one. You can find one in a jam. Weight? Well, knives weigh less than swords and less than machetes, less than axes, less than sledgehammers. So a knife, pretty light. And saying that it can be used to chop. I mean, it can be used to club. It can be used to dig. I mean, a knife can replace so many different objects in your zombie survival pack. Its weight certainly allows, you know, for a lot of room. Also, being light, it's fast to maneuver. Now, the downside, of course, is that you got to get close. Or strap it to a stick, you don't have to get close anymore. But you're going to lose a little maneuverability strapped to a stick, but hey, a knife's pretty maneuverable, so it's pretty light. Maintenance, well, that can vary. Depending on the knife, you can buy, for example, an S30V stainless steel knife, probably use it every day, even in the swamp, and only need to oil it once a week. Say you kill a pig, grease it. It'll maintain, it'll be alright. So I mean, they're easy to maintain. They can be. They can be very hard to maintain. You can get a solid carbon knife pretty much. Hey, you probably spend more time maintaining it than using it. So I mean, you got trade-offs, but you can buy one to the degree you want to deal with it. That's pretty good. So its maintenance can be easy, can be hard. It's up to you. But anyway, that's what I was thinking when it came to my top 3 picks on zombie killing edged weapons. And hope y'all enjoyed it. I can't really say it's too original. I borrowed the idea from a couple guys on YouTube. So thanks, guys. And maybe we'll get a debate going. Maybe I'll introduce some new stuff that I hadn't thought about. We'll put it to the criteria and see where it ranks. I'll even take it out into the field and try it. So leave me some comments, some thoughts. And I appreciate the input. And please subscribe and thank you for watching. This is Mara171 signing off.